Hello, everyone. It's Val Evans. Can you hear me okay? I'm just testing my microphone. Thanks for joining me today. It's a very sad day for everybody who has been following this case, and of course, all the people close to the case. Hope you guys are doing all right, and just let me know if you can hear me okay. So, I am coming to you via audio today, and I just want to take a look at a couple of things before we look. Thanks, Angel. Uh, oh no, Angel, get connected. Um, and Sean, and yes, sometimes it's hard to put everything together when there's news like this. So it is very sad for the family, and I think it breaks a lot of people's hearts thinking that these two little kids are going to be told or have been told that their mom's not going to return it, and it's extremely, extremely sad. Uh, Echo says, "Hi Val, I just came across a grisly true crime short that it was a medium who found Nicola Bulley's body, and so I wanted to take a look at that. Thanks for mentioning that. Let's start with that. And today, I think we're going to have psychic John Russell joining us via chat. He spoke to me the other day, and I don't have our full. In fact, I don't have our interview yet, but I just wanted to come on right now and talk a little bit about what's going on, the press conference that happened today, what's happening in the stars, and also look at the map and the crime chart itself. So let me just first start with this article. A man who helped locate missing Nicola Bulley's body is a self-described spiritual medium, psychic, and tarot reader. Jason Dean Rothwell found the mum's body a mile from a river bench where her phone was found. Mr. Rothwell and a friend were seen alongside the river wire at the weekend, appearing to assist police with the location and recovery of a body now confirmed as the missing 45-year-old mum. Along with a friend, Mr. Rothwell tonight said they assisted police, however, stressed he was not asked by Lancashire police or Nicola's family to offer his spiritualists or medium services. In a statement posted to Facebook, he writes, "Yes, it is myself in the images in the media currently circulating relating to the case of Nicola Bulley. And yes, yesterday morning it was myself and a friend who reported and assisted the police in the recovery of a body from the river wire. Such as it is, it would be inappropriate for me to discuss in any further detail anything we may know about that body at this time." Of course, this was before, I believe, it was confirmed, or at least before he knew it was confirmed. And then he says, "Thank you to everyone." What do you guys think about that? He's also into astrology. So, yes, it's interesting that that's coming up. Of course, this would be in the background. It's not the main point of our discussion, which is, of course, to figure out what happened and to understand if this was an accident, if it was intentional, or if there was foul play. And I think you guys know where my stance on this is. And interesting, Rose Petal. Hello from England. Apparently, Nicola and Paul's company was in financial trouble. I don't know about that. It would be interesting to see if that actually was the case. So let's see. Yes, Angel, it was Nicola, and there was a press conference earlier talking or discussing that. And the police and the family have really come out very angry, especially the family, against online sleuths and the media. And hello, Grace. Good to see you. And we have John here. Hi, John Russell. Everyone say hi to John. He is a wonderful psychic and author. And in this description of the show, I'm going to have all of his information. And John he's won so many awards. He has decades and decades of experience as a psychic medium, and it was so interesting to talk to. So I'm really excited about showing you my interview with him, which I'm going to do, and it's not going to be exactly today, but I just wanted to run online today and at least give you some snippets about what we talked about, and the fact that John, he has a surprising view on who this could be if this is in fact foul play. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick. Just want to show you the chart and kind of get us going a little bit on, what the crime chart looks like and what some of the clues were as far as when we were looking for Nicola. Before I started, I just want to explain that in traditional astrology, you're going to usually look at the moon because the moon is the co-ruler of the victim. So you saw in this case a lot of astrologers looking at moon in the Aries direction, which brought everyone like northeast a little bit. And it was actually the more in the area of Saturn. Saturn represents the deceased or a body. And if you're looking for a body in this crime chart, you would look in the Aquarius direction or maybe slightly in the Sagittarius direction. It wasn't exactly Aquarius, but it gave us a little bit of a clue that it was west by north, which is also what Carolyn Lulie says in her book, which some of you may have read on forensic astrology. And that's in the section that describes the area that is characterized by Aquarius features. All right, so here's the crime chart and take a look.
Some type of relationship, and she was rejecting that or pushing that away.
All right, so there's the crime chart. Sorry, I should have told you it was in the movie. But now I'm going to share it and we're going to take a look. And we're just going to go through the clues. So some of you don't really care for crime charts, and I don't blame you because they are a little confusing. But hopefully you can see this. And I'm just going to go through some of the clues that I saw and some things that were a little bit, I don't know, on the fence about. And the first one is, I'm just going to make sure you see that. Okay, you can see it. The first is you could see Saturn there. Now that represents the deceased. It represents remains. Okay. And one of the clues that I had that I saw when I first saw that there was that it's at the very end degrees of Aquarius, which means it's at the edge of something, the edge of a place that might be a little bit up higher than water. I also thought it might mean like an airport, which wasn't the case because sometimes Aquarius can be an airport. So I was looking around for the airport, but you can see that there is a the remains of a woman because Venus is right next to Saturn in the 12th house. So that was a clue that we should probably look in that area, which was northwest. So I started looking there. I was looking around that caravan park, as you could see in my Instagram post when I first posted it. But I was also looking in an area that was a little south of there called Ecclestone. And one of the reasons that I would do that is because Saturn is stones. Well, Saturn is rock. And in Aquarius is like interrupted. It means broken up. Aquarius is the sign for divorce, like a breakup. So you can usually apply it in a literal sense. So you get stones. So I was thinking, maybe there's something close to there that's like a stone area. And sometimes it doesn't always literally mean a person or the remains of a person is somewhere. It could still be a clue. So I was looking in the Ecclestone area, which was south, if you'll recall. I think it was one of my lives that I did. And I'm just going to say hi to everybody. And everyone's so excited that John is in the chat. John, he is coming out with his next book. And thank you, John, for that, for supporting the astrological chart. John has worked with a lot of astrologers in his past. He's got a lot of friends who are astrologers. So we were talking about that. Angel coming from Australia. And let's see here. We've got a lot of people who had dreams, had feelings about this, and it's all over the map sometimes. So it's really important to stay true to the crime chart. And yeah, John says, Val and I both agreed on the water aspect where the body would be found, that it would be close to the river. Now, that's the other thing. Aquarius is a river. So, and it can, remember, it's the water bearer. So Saturn, we knew, was going to be on the edge of something. Now, I recall somebody said that she was found in the water, but then I heard that she was found in the reeds. So it might have been just where that, that border is where she was found. So the thing about the 12th house is a lot of astrologers look at Saturn in the 12th house and they immediately say, well, there's not a really big chance anybody's going to find this person, because the 12th house usually means they've disappeared. It's the Neptune Pisces house. So at first it's like, nope, nothing's going to happen there. We'll probably never find her. But if there is a good aspect, which there is here with, let's see if you can see this. There's a good aspect with anything to that Saturn, which here is moon. And what does moon represent? It means a member of the public, and it can also represent a dog. So it's almost like something is giving a lifeline, in a sense, to the discovery process of finding that person. So sure enough, we have moon here coming in and basically showing the way to where this person is. And remember, moon represents a psychic too. So that's very interesting. We can't forget, though, that the chart ruler is Neptune, because Pisces is on the ascendant. If you're a traditionalist, you might say that Jupiter is the ruler. And what does the ruler mean? It means usually the victim, which especially before they were deceased, what happened to them. Now you can see a stellium there in Aries, which to me, another clue. It seems like the victim was pretty angry about something, that there was some kind of drama going on, and perhaps it was, behind the scenes, nobody could really see with that sextile to the 12th house. It was sort of like it was a secret. So anything touching the 12th house is a secret. So the second clue that I had indicated in the video that I just played was moon is the co-ruler for the victim, and it's in Aries. So moon in Aries is angry. We're getting, I think Venus is now in Aries, which means women are starting to get angry. And if you'll recall, in March 2017, We had a big protest with women all around the world. And what happened? Venus was squaring Pluto. That means tons of women are pissed off. Okay. So when you get that Aries energy, Venus or Moon or those kind of uh, feminine types of energies, you're going to get a very angry person. So you've got that Moon. So she's very angry about something and it's squaring Pluto, which means extreme anger. So it doesn't seem like you see these pictures of Nicola, and it really doesn't seem like she's the type that would get that angry. But it seems that something was just, really ticked her off, or there was an energy between her and another person that ticked her off. So, hi Penny, thanks for coming in. And is this a staged accident? That's a good question, M. I think that's a possibility. And I had a feeling too that this was one of those things that where they wanted to get rid of the remains fast and get out of there. So where we would determine if there was video would be probably Neptune. And Neptune is right there, and it doesn't seem to directly aspect um, the perpetrator. So I think that there's a possibility that this perpetrator might have gotten out without any video capturing them. So let's look at the third clue. The third clue from the video that I just showed you was Uranus is in the second house, and it's aspecting the ruler of the perpetrator. So we have two planets that it represents the perpetrator, and Mercury would be maybe somebody who is good at communicating, maybe someone who is maybe someone who communicates in a negative way, because Mercury in in Capricorn might be either negative or could be someone who's very wise, the way that they speak. But look at how that Mercury aspects Uranus in the second house. So, what does that mean to me? It shows that this person's mind is like very, very, the person is very smart. We have high, high intellect, but it's in the second house. So there's some kind of break with a financial situation. And Uranus, and I'm not going to tell you, you astrologers know what Uranus represents when it comes to professions. It can mean airline pilot. It can represent someone who is very scientific. But I don't want to get into it because I know you're going to start connecting the dots. But you can't help but think, okay, this person is highly, highly intelligent. So Christina asks, is 23 a symbol for anything? Yes, it is. It is the symbol of Aquarius. So again, that is an Aquarian symbol there. So just so much water. And Aquarius can show some like a split again. So when you're seeing 7 degrees, which is a Libra degree, that's a couple. When you're seeing 23, which is Aquarius, that can represent divorce, that the 11th house in itself, it can represent divorce. It could either be where there's a divorce kind of theme, or as John Russell says, he believes that there could be somebody else who wanted to be in the picture and was rejected. So I think that's something to think about. So yes, John, water, exactly. So I'm going to have more of my my interview with John in the next couple of days. I'm still cutting it right now, but it has some really good conversation on this case and what John thinks about this. And John, feel free if exactly water, if you have any other ideas on, what's going to happen next with this case, because, well, what is going to happen? We're going to find out if there was foul play. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. Hi, Christina. Thank you so much. Now, the autopsy, what will the autopsy say? Well, we might We might see if there was. We might see if there was some kind of, strangling or some kind of bruising. But I think that you're going to be able to see if it was foul play, if she was in that wooded area. If she was just kind of floating and was, not to be graphic, but in those reeds, it almost seems as if she was placed somewhere and then she drifted down. So that's going to be interesting to figure out if she was placed where she was found or if she ended up there. And who's to say she even ended up there after she was like directly attacked? Possibly she was taken and then brought back. Hopefully not. I don't think so, though. And the reason for that is Mercury is trining Uranus. And what does that mean? That means, now, if it was in the third house, I'd say that's an airplane, but it's in the second house. So this person, it's almost like they got out of there fast. Uranus is lightning speed, and it's like lightning speed through a farm because the second house, and it's represented by Taurus there, is kind of like the shortcut through the farm. And it can also mean the border of a farm where the farm separates. And that's something that I looked at when I was looking at the chart or looking at the map at first, because I was like, well, where the farm separates. But if you look at that area, like you've got lots of separations of farms. So that was impossible. Okay. I'm going to read some of your comments here. Yeah, so lots of Aquarius. And all right. So thanks for putting up with all of my technical speak here. I know sometimes you guys just want clues, but what I'm saying from this is I don't think we have an accident. I think we have a man that was disguised because of that 12 degrees by Mercury. And in the 11th house can show a friend, can show someone in the community, and someone who might have some kind of a financial interest. Well, that goes against a little bit what John's saying. And John, you're saying, Val, I think the authorities haven't delved deeply enough into this. And that's probably true. We were talking about how Mercury is still in shadow. And sometimes that means that, the police are in detriment. They're not at full capacity. So we try not to, make any judgments because it is what it is. This is the energy. Now you can look at Mars as the police, and in Gemini, that can mean local police. But you can also look at Scorpio as the, Scorpio or Pluto for the investigators. Pluto doesn't look so good because of that square there. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that are not getting to the police, or maybe at first they're not investigating fully, which is hopefully not that case. But guys, that 7 degrees, the sun, it also represents the perpetrator. And that's in that 12th house. So how can we see that 12th house? Well, the good news about this chart is you've got Mars trining the sun. So it's almost as if the police have talked to this person because they have a straight line straight into this the sun at 7 degrees. It's like a couple. And I know they've been talking to a couple, not saying it's that couple, but it seems as if this perpetrator, I think, is going to be caught. And the reason I say that is because 12, or the 12th house, is jail. And so when you see sun in the 12th house, it means solitary confinement, and it can show that this person or people, because of 7 degrees, will be put away in some way, shape, or form. So what do you think? What do you guys think? So, yeah. Sometimes it's a case where you're not going to know all of the details until, the court and all of that. Samurai, thanks for saying that. Hello, that's Nikki. And yeah, I know. You're a lot like a lot of others. I have to watch all of this incognito because my family thinks I'm crazy believing or even thinking about all of this. I know. Laura, I know you can't make out the chart. A lot of people can, and I'm working on fixing that so that I can get you guys some bigger charts, and you're not gonna have to worry about that. But if you want to draw the chart yourself, you can go to astroseek.com. Now, in my interview with John, we talked about where Nicola might be, and the water, the creek came up a lot. And then we also talked about who could possibly have done something like this. John is pretty convinced that this could be a spurned type of situation, rejected person. And Christina, you're an Aquarius. And Aquarius is, they are such smart people. So I'm sure you like the fact that we're talking about Aquarius and Uranus ruled signs that just they think in a futuristic way. So it's good. It's a good thing to be an Aquarius. Thank you, Summer. So rescue mom, that's crazy. I'm sorry. Which part is crazy? A lot of it sounds crazy, but I don't know. I just think that this is going to be an ongoing case. Oh, I'm going to show you a little secret too. Okay, I hope you can see this. But one of the things that I do is when I look at a chart, like a lot of people will look at moon, okay, and then they will go to the Aries direction, which is usually this direction, and then they'll start looking. They'll look at the streets. They'll look at the little towns, just names to see if anything has anything to do with the information around the moon. But in this case, we had really more of the direction being in the Saturn side of the Aquarius, which was this side. So one of the things that I do, and this may be a crazy technique, but I think it was a case of well, it was Jamie Kloss. And I was trying to figure out how we could have possibly charted it because it seemed impossible. And so what I had done was I go to no houses, okay? And that just gives a really organic look at the chart, okay? There's no houses here, okay? And usually you can see, like you can pick out the moon and that it's going to be it's really easy. It's going to be in a southwest direction, okay? If you want to look at where maybe remains might be, it's going to be in a northwest direction. So you can see that it really played out pretty perfectly here. The other thing too is when you go to no houses, you can see where the chart splits up and where all the energy is. And so in this case, it seems like all of the energy is west and northwest. So might be a good direction to look at for other clues, like where the perpetrator could have gone, where there might be CCTV, like Neptune, which represents the video. So I hope this is a good explanation for you guys. I'm going to catch up on the chat here. Yeah, I think so too, John. I think, well, it's definitely going to continue. Jonathan, thanks for that. But I am going to make sure that you guys see a bigger chart and a better chart. I'm working on it, just trying to level up here. It is a quaint town, Rose Petal. And, you know, my mom, she loves Father Brown, and she'll listen to me talk sometimes on cases. And she's like, that town needs a Father Brown. And I'm like, you know what? In this case, in this town, they probably do have a Father Brown. It's a really cute, kind of like a Murder, She Wrote type of a show set in England. And it's just a beautiful little village. Like you can't even imagine any harm coming to anyone, any of the locals. I'm not sure exactly, you know, who lives in those areas around there. Sometimes when you have, you know, caravan parks, usually those are for people who, you know, want a vacation. But I'm not sure what the culture there is. It would be interesting to find that out. I'm a Libra. My birthday is only 2 days before Nicola's. That's interesting. Libras, I've had so many solar chart readings lately, and there are a lot of Libras. Many of them just because of Pluto. Pluto's really done a number on Libras, and it's just coming out. So I'm a Libra ascendant, so it's been really brutal. I would say for all of the signs in some way, shape, or form, but especially for Libras and that hard aspect with Pluto. So, Laura, thanks for doing that. And okay. Sasha says, I find it odd that if she fell in the water at the bench, why the dog didn't jump in after her. That's a very good question. Yeah. So I'm not sure about that. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'll just answer a few more questions, and just remember to hit John Russell up if you're interested in getting a psychic reading, and I'll have all of his information in the description box. And John, we're so happy that you could join us today. Yeah, Colleen, maybe a couple, like a worker or her close friend, wanted what Nicola had. And I think they call her Nikki too. So Nicola or Nikki. But yeah, it's possible that there's somebody there in that work. Now, why a lover? Well, Leo is the lover. It's also the family. And so with Black Moon Lilith there, that's kind of a sinister type of energy. So you've got Black Moon Lilith, and it's trining the planet that represents Nicola. So what does that tell you? Well, it might say that, maybe she was, maybe doing something on the DL, or somebody was reaching out to her on the DL, and she just, she's reading it or she's listening, but maybe she's not interested. So that's a possibility. So great, Andrea. Yes. I'll also tag John too. So definitely check him out. Sarah says, Libra to Pluto, yes. Think Uranus also did a number on me hitting my north node. Yes. Uranus, it's hurt a lot of Libras. I think I've moved 10 times in like 5 years. So I'm like, enough already, enough. So happy birthday, Monica. Thanks for joining us, Monica. My birthday is tomorrow, so I am really excited that you guys can join me today on my last day of this solar return or solar year. And tomorrow I start a new one, so we'll see what that means. I guess you guys are going to be able to find out. So thank you, Christina. All right. Thank you, John. Well, I don't want to keep you on for much longer, but check out this chart. Check out what I told you about the no houses. I think that's a good little trick when you're trying to find a person, when you're looking for someone and you really think that they're probably deceased. You should definitely look at Saturn. Thanks, Pirate Girl. I've not done a chart or any of these things, but I found your clues intriguing. I don't get the dog thing with this. My dog would do anything to stay with me. It would raise hell. It's interesting, too, that you say dog, because what were we seeing with the Idaho case? Again, we were seeing a dog in the news. And so that's usually the moon. We're going to see when moon is prominent in a chart, it can show that people are talking about the dog. Now, in this case, and I'm going to show you here. Let's see. Go back to Placidus. Now, you see moon right there. When it's in the first house, it's what is by the victim, okay? So Jupiter, there's somebody here, and he might be rotund, or he might be a big guy, because Jupiter is big. Jupiter represents someone who might be interested in you. 5 degrees is Leo, so somebody who might have something to do with 5th house types of matters. And but you've got moon here, which is the dog. So you're going to, whenever you're going to see a picture of her or people are talking about her, they're going to talk about the dog too. So, and then with Idaho, we saw the moon up at the MC. So when you have a moon up at the MC, everybody's talking about the dog. Everybody's talking also about a mother too in that case. Here we're talking about how she's a mom because moon is in the first house. So, and with moon in that Aries at 22, the kill or be killed degree, this is a very dangerous degree. When I saw moon square Pluto there, moon is it's a home, so can mean a lot of red homes. And what was really interesting to me too was, you can see, I'm going to go back to, see, can I go back to it? No, but I think it was, is it Rawcliffe? And Rawcliffe is actually, in these crimes, you've got to go to the crime chart and then you go to the streets and you've got to look at what every street means. And Rawcliffe actually means red. So red something, I can't remember what it was, but raw means red. It's like a Norse type of word. So it can also give that. And I remember I was talking to John too. And John was saying, we were trying to figure out where she was. And I was saying something about red and Mars and like an army or something. But in this case, it was the street. So Rawcliffe. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much. And thanks, John. And we're going to be talking again about John in the next few days. And I'm going to have more about our interview coming up. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for tuning in.